and you know me. uh, I do these hip hop videos and I tell you my opinions on what's going on and what really happened. And some people write it off as fiction. Some people take it as fact. You can take all this as fiction if you like. But I'm not going to do that with this. This is the truth behind the beef with Lil Wayne and Young Thug. And you could throw Birdman in it too. I'm going to give y'all the whole script. This is why I never said nothing about it when it was first coming out. Because it was yet to play out. I said, let it play out. Then we have something to really tell you. Now, this is what's crazy about the subject. Is Young Thug is really a fan of Lil Wayne. Truthfully, he is. He patterned all his rap career off Lil Wayne. Everything he did was about Wayne. And when Two Bitches came out, he got to meet Wayne and all that. The Carter 4 and all that stuff came out. And that was back in 2011. You know, that's when Cash Money Records was doing good. But in 2014, Birdman was going through a lot with the record labels as far as taxes. Now, how did that affect him? Because Young Thug came out and started the year off with the Kanye West joint, the Danny Glover, like I said before, with Two Bitches, and all that started blowing up. He was talking with Baby because he was with what's his name, Gucci now clique, the 1017 record label thing. So he had to go through that transition, but he wanted to go over with Baby and Cash Money at the time. So he was hanging out with Lil Wayne and all of them at the All-Star game, which was in New Orleans that year, and everybody was chilling with them. And Young Thug was all giving praise to Birdman and Lil Wayne and all of them kicking it together. They was up there at the spot performing and stuff. And they was doing Two Bitches, the hit song. And Lil Wayne was getting ready to drop the Carter 5. Now, when he was getting ready to drop the Carter 5, a lot of people don't know Wayne do most of his work on his own tour buses. He have like a whole studio in his tour bus, so he could always make mixtapes, songs, do any type of remix, anything he needed to do. He could always be ready to do it, no matter if he's out kicking it or doing whatever. He'll leave a set of a nightclub, go on one of his buses and make a joint. And for those who don't know, Wayne is when Lil Wayne, you want to bet some money with Lil Wayne bowling, Lil Wayne bowl about at least 220. I ain't gonna lie. He could bowl. Now, Lil Wayne, at this point, is working on the Carter 5. He got 20 at this point. What did he have? He had about 26 songs already recorded for the Carter 5. He put out Believe Me. Believe Me was his first joint. So when he put out Believe Me was hot. It took off. Everybody was set. It was like the warm-up record for the album. And then Lil Wayne was like, this gonna be my last album and I'm done. That didn't sit well with Birdman. Because he knows Lil Wayne's contract is up, and Lil Wayne is like, well, this is my last album. Like, we're going to have to sit down and go over, you know, everything that we got to get done. Like, contract, if he was going to resign, but I guess from the tone, and this is me guessing, this wasn't finna happen, a re-signing. Or a large amount of money was going to have to be given away. So now that Birdman is not really, you know, feeling this plan of Lil Wayne going ahead and stepping down and retiring and all of this stuff, you know, he's putting his focus more towards what he's starting to build outside of Cash Money. He building something else that he didn't name the Rich Gang. And it was like the Rich Gang, and he's got a young thug there, and he's trying to guide him along, but he don't officially manage him. He's not really affiliated with the squad. Like, technically he is, but paperwork wise he's not, because he's supposed to be with Brick Squad. So I guess they was like, his contract was biding by some type of money or whatever, was holding it up. But anyway, Rich Gang come out with Lifestyle. That's the first time I ever heard of Young Thug, is when Lifestyle was out. So that's where I know him from, is like, oh yeah, that guy that was with the Rich Gang and all them. And they had Rich Homie Quan and Young Thug, and they had Lifestyle. And Lifestyle was a hit. So they did the Drake Lil Wayne tour that's coming out. You got Rich Gang. You like, oh man, so if you a fan or you somebody that's sitting on the outside, you looking like, man, the Rich Gang, they got Lil Wayne, they got Young Thug. Everybody's a big old family. So Young Thug is telling everybody, I'm signed to Birdman and Cash Money. So everybody's believing he signed to Cash Money. And everybody's like, okay, he signed to Cash Money with Young Money and all them. So, you know, that's what I thought. Then Lil Wayne dropped this song called Crazy. And Crazy was alright, but there was no real buzz from like Cash Money Records really backing the project. So anyway, he came out with Grindin'. Like right after that, Lil Wayne dropped Grindin' and it had Drake on it. And it was alright. People weren't really feeling it. They like Believe Me. And Believe Me didn't have a video. And he was like, that's crazy. Why Believe Me don't got a video? Then Wayne comes out and says, the Carter 5 coming out. Just wait for it. It's going to be out on the 28th. And Believe Me is the lead single, but there's still no video for that. And then you seeing Birdman going around pushing Rich Gang tour. And then he got the mixtape, Volume 1. Nobody from Cash Money is on this tape. And it's like crazy. Juvenile signed back supposedly with Cash Money, but he's not really on there. He's mostly with Rich Gang. So it's like, what is going on around here? Does it Show Me Love with the Rich Gang, and it's got featuring Drake and Juvenile. So we're like, okay, And it's Rich Gang, Rich Gang, Rich Gang. So all of this stuff is being done because Cash Money Records he's getting ready to fold that up like a blanket because he owes so much in taxes on it and he wasn't paying them. So this is like millions of dollars in taxes that he was going to have to start paying on it. So if he go bankrupt on Cash Money and come out like we Rich Gang, it looked like Cash Money never left, or people just going to forget about it and just go roll on with Rich Gang. You can just start all over new and still keep the people there and everything else. I've seen the move before, but the way he was doing it, it was like you still gonna have to pay the money. And Wayne, his thing is he had to be on board for all this without him even knowing what was going on. Nobody informed him of anything. So all of a sudden, the Rich Gang 2 album was supposed to come out, the mixtape. Everybody talking about Rich Gang and bringing, and the Drake and Tiger battle going on at the time, and Young Thug is like, I'm finna name my Carter the Carter 6. Wayne did 1 through 5, I'm gonna do 6 through 10. And that caught wind. Of course, it was everywhere. You saw it on Vlad TV. And Birdman, of course, was there. He ain't say nothing about it. And what's his name? They did Take Care. And they was supposed to be for the Rich Gang 2 album. But the whole album got canceled after that because Lil Wayne didn't like what Young Thug said about doing a Carter 6 and starting at 6 through 10, and like, whoa, wait a minute. Well, they did Take Care a while ago, actually. So when Take Care dropped, and what this happened, he really didn't like what homie had to say about like taking over from the Carter. But Lil Wayne came out and put a PSA announcement out saying that he's been recording too many songs and he didn't want to cheat the fans. So he was going to split the Carter 5 into 2 albums. And the first one was going to drop on December the 9th. And then he put out the song with the Locks with Jada and them called Gotti. Y'all remember that song? Gotti? So London on the Track, the guy, the producer, he put out the Instagram picture of Lil Wayne and Young Thug. They in the studio. You see Birdman in the back. Everything seemed like love. And here it is in December, a year ago, almost to today. That's when all the hell broke loose. Lil Wayne came out to confirm what everybody else was pretty much whispering around the hip hop world, that we ain't finna see the Carter 5. At least not anytime soon. And he blamed Birdman for not wanting to release it. And then he's like, I'm like a prisoner on the label. I can't do nothing. Like, I don't understand why this man don't want to release the album. And that's when you saw Wayne all on Twitter. To all my fans, I want you to know my album and blah, 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 blah. Baby Cash Money refused to release it. I want off the label. And that's when Tez was like, oh yeah, Cortez is Lil Wayne manager. Tez good people. Tez said Wayne ain't leaving the label. He was just being sarcastic, but it's a serious situation right now. So that's when everybody got sorry for the wait. The part 2 or 3 or whatever one it is of the mixtape. And the mixtape the mixtape was hot. Except for crazy December weather. The mixtape was hot except for he kept going after Birdman on every song. Every song he basically going after Birdman, unless it was some songs he had did way in the past. So after the mixtape, here come the $51 million lawsuit. And the reason why the $51 million lawsuit came up is because he had to pay Drake and Nicki Minaj for doing the Carter 5. And that's their monetary compensation for being with Young Money. And Lil Wayne's supposed to get a $10 million advance before he go in there and start recording his albums. And he didn't get that. And actually, Birdman was on tour, didn't respond to none of the lawsuit or anything. he was on tour with Young Thug. So they rolling around together. So he was finna put out the Carter 6 mixtape, and Lil Wayne was like, He got in there and responded by dissing Young Thug and saying people who shouldn't pose naked on their album covers and don't buy it, man, don't buy that. Don't nobody out there buy that. And by him saying don't buy it, the Carter 6 and all this stuff and telling people not to buy it, this rubbed his manager the wrong way. His road manager and all this other stuff. Pee Wee, he all, man, this fool, man, I smoked this dude. How you gonna go up there and say that? Da, 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 da. You know, Pee Wee was a little hot under the collar. So, and Lil Wayne got upset again, started talking about some, man, ain't no such thing as the Carter 6. So he just, like, it's crazy for him to do something like that. So they made him change the name from the Carter 6 to the Barter 6. And he was forced to do it. And they were upset about it. They didn't want to make the change, but it had to be changed to the Barter 6. And it's what's weird about all of this nonsense. The Barter 6 was amazing compared to anything that had just came out that we was just talking about. The Barter 6 was dope. The production, everything, I'm like, man, this was a monster. So for all the controversy, all this craziness going back and forth, the Barter 6 was that business. Now, I said, my goodness, if they just had another rap on here. But he really wasn't that bad on there. So Young Thug at this time getting all the hate because of all this stuff about the Barter and the Carter taking over, and it was Lil Wayne versus Young Thug versus Lil Wayne, who better? You know, social media went crazy with it. And that was back in April. Then he kept his promise. He went back to Louisiana. But then he got booed. Because he was like, I'm going to go to Louisiana and kick it off. And that's the same day Lil Wayne was in Atlanta doing a show. And at this show, we all know Lil Wayne's road manager, Pee Wee, shoots up Lil Wayne's bus after the show. And he's now serving 10 to 20 years in jail for doing so. That's not me ratting on him. That's him and what happened. He got arrested. He got charged. He got sentenced. So I ain't ratting on the homie. That's what happened to the homie. Now, this dummy, first off, let's go back to that. First thing he did wrong, he goes in there, raising hell, talking to Lil Wayne all crazy like he about to smoke him, and drawing all this attention to himself in the club. He got kicked out because of all the stuff he was yelling at Lil Wayne. Now, he said he called Young Thug beforehand. He did, and was like, oh yeah, I'm finna go to the Lil Wayne set. I'm already up here. And he telling him he getting ready to go in there and see Wayne, and he gonna get at Wayne, like yell at him and all this stuff, and get in his face. And then, after this, he gets kicked out. Lil Wayne got police escort on 285. He's behind the police escort. Then when they leave, here come the Camaro he in. He's shooting at two buses. He don't know which one Wayne at, so he's just shooting on two buses. And then he escapes, and people spot him and say, "Yeah, you're the Camaro." And then the Camaro he stashed at a relative's house. And it had an automatic weapon in it. I'm like, what in the world is this guy thinking about? Forget the shooting. That's just dumb. Altogether. I'm like, you could have killed this man. And for what? Then he breaks the cardinal rule. He in there telling. You telling. You get in there, you supposed to be from the street, you supposed to be with blood, and you rolling in there telling? You in there telling. Man, Young Thug and Birdman set me up, man. And that's all I know. What I'm gonna do is not tell. That's what I'm gonna do. The people that surround it, they already know. They already know what it is. Young Thug, when this was over, he started severing his ties with Baby. Just mentions him as a friend after this. Baby started doing interviews when he wasn't doing no interviews. He wasn't saying nothing. All of a sudden, he's vocal. Oh, I never try to kill my son. Lil Wayne, my son. Everything Thugger was in after that, he was, I'm not with Cash Money. I'm not with them. I'm not with that. I'm not with them. Baby's just a friend of mine, and that's how he's been, like a friend. I'm not signed to him. I'm signed with 300. I'm not signed with Cash Money. None of that. We just cool. And he pretty much putting a sever between his ties with the whole situation that just happened and from Baby. Like, he's separating himself from him like, dude, you on your own. I don't want nobody to think I'm affiliated with this whatsoever. So now, Young Thug is going to jail, getting terrorist threats over something stupid and small. They looking to pounce on him. And Lil Wayne drops an album with Jay-Z. And once that happened, things started making another turn. Because once Lil Wayne got the album dropped on the Jay-Z label, Birdman came out and started suing Lil Wayne with the violation in his contract, because he said he want $50 million because that was the penalty, because they have exclusive rights to all Lil Wayne's music. Now they'll find a loophole around it. Quite sure they will. Quite sure they'll dig up a contract, but I'm like, is it really that serious? I'm like, do you think it's going to be worth it when you got a tax situation going on that you finna try to block Jay-Z from getting Lil Wayne? I just don't think that's smart. I could be wrong, but I just really don't think that's smart. It's like sometimes you gotta choose and pick your battles. But I'm gone. Good night.